together to the last 3 holes.
It's
The rest kind of figure it out.
But believe me, every time I see it,
I need new grips.
I have
My
not.
grips are about 5 years old.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
I've got to order some.
I can see more mushrooms.
That's right. That's always a secret.
That's right. He had some great draws.
Yeah.
Second shot's terrible.
Yep.
That's the hardest part.
What keeps you coming back, right?
That's right.
Jackie, did you know that?
Did you get all your decks?
It is. I love it.
They extended it too, didn't
And the bears love it. They come up and chill out.
they? It's a lot of bears out fishing. They're thirsty and hungry.
And they came out early.
Yeah.
Had some mountain lions.
Yeah. That you saw physically or just on camera?
No, I was sitting in my house one night and I made 2 hours running as fast as I could. Oh my gosh, here comes this mountain lion. And I couldn't get my phone out fast enough to film it.
Wow. That's awesome.
It was pretty cool.
You are though. You're definitely, you can do your own National Geographic show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's online?
Probably in Golden.
I'll text you when I do. You ready, Mr. Mann?
Well, I'll keep it right here. Where did he go? We can go ahead and get started.
Okay. On the record.
Call this meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for the record. Mayor Lindsay.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Here.
Counselor Howe.
Here.
Counselor Weeks.
Here.
And Counselor Curry. We have a quorum. You may proceed.
At this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda. We have a couple of ordering changes on it. Under old business, item H will be moved up above item C. And under new business, item H will be moved up above item A.
I'll second.
Sorry, H, I'm above item A on old business.
No, old business H is going above C, new business H is going above A.
So you're first.
Got a motion and a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ellen. This time, can I get a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to requests and responses from the audience, we have one person that would like to speak, that's Greg Battershell.
Mayor, council, and director, everybody else up there. Some I probably forgot, but there's a few that should be forgotten. I'm here to let you know that there is a problem with identity theft in Angel Fire. It was brought to my attention by the police chief that that was a possibility for me. So when Councilman Jake decided to say, well, I thought that incident was cleared up 2 years ago, evidently there's a problem with identity theft that only a select group of people know. So I'm going to come here and make it be known every time. Because I also talked to the geophysicist that came in and gave an opinion on her idea of the water system and said it was screwed up 10 years ago when J. Ed Mitchell was in here and bought the wrong equipment. And I knew that right off the bat, because I was asked to help and I wasn't gonna help, because that was, at that time, a state licensed and certified repair. Because we are part of the United States in New Mexico and not part of Mexico annexed. That's why we use United States codes and standards to do product testing, because we have so many zones and regions that cover almost every climate change there is. So when you have a developer or a contractor that's of those codes, you're not getting true effects of the product testing. I was asked to say that about 2 months ago by people that were in office a lot longer than you long ago. So we know what the problem is. How are you gonna explain to the citizens that you were part of it?
10 years ago.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Battershaw. Moving on to our director reports. First up is Airport Director Jeff Gilmer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, Village Clerk Strickland, and Manager Weir. Brief update. I'm going to start with the status of the airport right now. Sorry, my voice is disappearing on me. I'll try to talk as loud as possible. The hangar door, it has been installed. We're waiting on the final electric hookup on it, although I just not discovered, but was informed that we have an issue with the final closing of the door. It's a bifold door, so as it comes up and down, when it's fully extended, it actually is supposed to pull in and create a seal, a weather seal. They're having issues with, they don't know what yet, to get that final 2 inches to suck in. And so we're gonna have a little bit of issue with that, because that may require some re-welding and grinding and who knows what. So just found that out about an hour ago. Otherwise, it's in, it does function, it's really, looks great. I hope you all will go out and see that. The pad for the containment, for the fueling of the fuel truck is complete and good to go. The covering for the fuel pumps is done, good to go. Might need a little bit of painting right there. So that's kind of the update. Hangar's been cleaned out, so the crews, we're very happy that we're finally coming towards the very end of that. We had a really good meeting yesterday with the advisory committee. We agreed to meet in 3 weeks to vote for the officers of that committee, where they'll continue to run it. One of the biggest agenda items on there was a fee schedule for for leasing land. And already since yesterday morning, I'm getting a lot of feedback, really good feedback, on what that process is gonna look like, it costs. And I will say what we're considering is a period of a couple of years to allow those first people to come in, kind of like a build out if you're doing a retail operation. You're gonna cut a little bit better deal for those first folks in, to kind of generate that interest, and then, you know, a couple years down the road, we'll do a regular fee schedule. So hopefully, within a month to 6 weeks, we'll present to you that fee schedule. That will be the complete contract, leasing agreements, and we should be good to go. Another item that's on is the sponsorship transfer. We are still not getting any word back from the FAA. I've got another kind of a tangent I'm going on as of this afternoon, going directly to the head of Airports Division in Washington. Kind of have it in there now as of this afternoon to have a chat with him coming up. So somewhere along the line, that glacier is going to shift, and we will see that. And I apologize to the council and the folks of the Village of Angel Fire that this isn't already completed. You know, there's all kinds of excuses that the government wants to throw out at it, but we expected this done and dusted by now. So do you guys have any questions on any of those matters?
I guess one quick question
Sure, sir.
on the hangar door. You said there's gonna be some additional work that's gonna have to be done. Is that gonna be covered under the contract price, or is that gonna be something that they're gonna try to do a change on?
Yes, sir. No, it's covered under the contract price. That was part of their agreement as the contractor to do the install. They gotta get it right. One of the things I'll kind of throw out the dirty laundry a little bit, the contractor never used the source of the engineers for the actual door. They looked at the plan and said we could build this. So there's been things like insulation issues, this one that just cropped up, where they stopped and look. But we had no control or say over that since it's a county project. They are trying to sort it out, but that's part of the reason why we're 3 weeks past due on the completion of that project. Last but not least, I'll just let you know that sales are up with fuel. Had a great weekend with balloons. I mean, I think I hate to use the buzzword optics, but the optics are good right now. And we get a lot of aircraft in and out of there, and pump some gas, so it's a very good thing. So that's all I have. I'll stand for any more questions.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Next up is our Public Works Director, Kurt Edler.
And Mr. Mayor, we skipped over the announcements and proclamations by county. And that's okay.
Sorry, that was a pin issue there. Do we have any, do we have any announcements?
Mr. Mayor, the Roads Committee and Infrastructure Committee met yesterday. They discussed the criteria and prioritization of roads, water, sewer, and solid waste. The criteria for roads, water, and sewer are already contained in Title VII of the Village Code. The criteria for solid waste are contained in Title IV of the Village Code. Some committee members feel that they need some guidance from the council and staff to enable them to set priorities. Other committee members feel that they can set priorities with the information they have. So we're going to continue to work with staff and discuss that some more the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Any other updates?
Trails and Rec, we're gonna be doing the survey so that we can design the trail and then get the location for the skate park after the first week of July.
Okay, thank you. Director Edler, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor Lindsay, Council. Quick update on Public Works happenings over the last couple of weeks. I want to start off, as we usually end with it, I want to start with solid waste and announce that, the scales seem to be functioning pretty well. And actually, asked somebody here present today to test them yesterday, and I think it went pretty well. It's a pretty neat system, and I think it's going to be good for us. We will obviously be starting to make it available to the public after the 1st of July, as that's when our pricing takes effect. Are there any questions in regards to solid waste over the scales?
I was that person, and yeah, it was just a dummy run. I did everything but pay at the scale, and it was super easy, extremely accurate, as far as just, so yeah, I'm thrilled to see that implemented.
I think in time we'll get some indications of how well our pricing will be accepted by the public. I think it's a pretty good medium point where, in the past, maybe some lighter loads charged by yardage were overcharged. There were some heavier loads, with dense materials that one could say were maybe undercharged. So hopefully we find that good balance and go from there. Streets Department, I should announce, lost 2 more employees. One is Mr. Candelaria, who is driving our water truck for us, which is a tough loss because the water truck's very, very important in our ability to do road maintenance at this point. So we'll be posting that position. Hopefully we can get it filled pretty soon. His wife Carly is leaving also. Her job ends on Friday. You know, obviously she's been very crucial to me, and as Public Works Director, she has been my admin assistant since day one. I want to thank them both for their service to this community, and hope things go well, and they're both going to be surely missed, and wish them the best. So Streets Department is currently, we've got a crew out, we've got quite a few culverts plugged up, so we've been cleaning out ends of culverts. Today the Portamole was active all day, jetting out some culverts. You know, we've got a fair number of them out there that just always plug up, and we're able to work on culverts again. The other two guys on the crew are working on workforce housing. We got 4 of the 7 house sites cut at the end of day to day. They started on Friday, so we've got 4 of them done in 2 days. And we'll be starting the utility installation for those 4 pads next week. We'll have 7 done. We may even start some of the utility installation by the end of the week. Goal would be to have the contractor that's doing the foundation work in the 2nd week of July. Maybe a tad later than that, because we will have to pull off of workforce housing from time to time to take care of other duties. And are there any questions in regards to roads or our role in workforce housing?
I was, not so much a question for you, but for Director Lyra back there, do we know, I don't think you're presenting tonight, do we know how many applicants we've got for the 7 that are coming? Has the property manager given you a report on that yet?
No.
Okay.
Try to get them. Yes. Yes, sir. Well, I always welcome a call from anybody that notices an issue out on the roads. Obviously, it's going to be a bigger challenge with me not having Carly, but yeah, you're always welcome to call, Councilman Curry. Thank you. Okay, and Water Department, I want to report that as of this morning, UMS, the contractor that's doing new meter installs, that's prior to today's work, had 109 meters installed. Okay, so they've already, in basically a month-and-a-half time, exceeded the performance of the previous contractor. So we will have discussions soon about if we have the ability and the desire to maybe just directly employ them to replace a few of those that are remaining. I think we need to look at the numbers and see how they work out. As with any construction, there's little hiccups here and there. We had a leak that developed on a recently installed meter yesterday, but they fixed it right away this morning. We have had some citizens, after their meter is replaced, experiencing a lower pressure. As we're not asking the contractor to adjust the PRVs for pressure at the house, we want to be responsible for that and do it ourselves. Other than that, it's going really well with that. Any questions in regards to the meter project? Okay. I will say that over the last week, the water department has had just a abnormal amount of water leaks just popping up. None of them are related. They're spread out to all corners of the village. It's ironic, the water department's kind of going through what Kit Carson's going through, where Kit Carson is having, you know, they've had a tough go of it lately. Don't know what it is, probably no explanation to it, but we did, there was a significant water leak that was actually affecting our tank levels through the weekend. It was very worrisome. I will say that the capabilities of our upgraded booster stations we were able to overpower the leak, if you will, to keep water to people. But it was of great concern, and we finally did find this leak at the very end of Village Water Service and Mobile Home States on the other side of the RV resort, the very end of the line, and it was a significant leak. We were lucky to be able to power through it, if you will. But tank levels are returning and maintaining, and we're doing good there. And as usual, the water department, as they've encountered these issues, they're just hitting it head on and taking care of it right Any questions in regard to water?
Some of those leaks that you see, is that just, you think, aged material, or is it too much pressure?
A lot of it is aged material. You know, one of the most common things that we find on the smaller leaks is, as you know, the main line will have a tap and a short pipe or a piece of poly goes out, and there's what's called a curb stop on the end. A good number of the leaks are those curb stops just loosening up and aging out. A lot of it, you know, issues we see is less than ideal installation techniques, but also materials that were used at the time. I'll use an example on the south end of Monteverde Lake, where Alpine Lake Way starts. There's a leak that has just been going on for years and years, and we've dug it up multiple times, and it breaks again and breaks again. And it's a 2-inch water line, and it goes between a 4-inch line and a 6-inch line, and you know, every time we dig it up, another piece breaks away, so it's quite an undertaking. So the guys decided to, one, get it off of the 6-inch line, which was creating excess pressure.
Right.
And they went up to where that was teed in, and it was literally, the way it was pieced together, and being that there's a water main, was well, less than ideal, to put it lightly. Fittings were put together, and T-posts were driven in the ground to hold the fittings together. And when the 2-inch was detached from the 6-inch, they started seeing the pipe move and contort, and it blew up completely. So anyway, long story short, a lot of it is just, you know, antiquated infrastructure, and that was, some of it was either put in improperly or repairs were made and repairs were done in haste, if you will. But again, to point out, that's another area, that's in the area that we just got $5.6 million to repair or replace. Any other questions? I'll see y'all in a bit.
All right, thank you, Director. Okay, next up is Police Chief Jerry Hogarth.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Manager, Clerk, thanks for having me this evening. I have before you the May monthly recap for 2026, and on that recap, I do compare to April of, so last month, and then there's also a column to the far right for May of 25, just to kind of show a running calculation of what we address there at the police department. Calls for service in May were up for a total of 180, comparable to last year of 135. So a pretty good jump on that. I am happy to report that very few of those were big problems, but there were a lot of small things that got reported that apparently weren't the year before. As far as instance reports and calls for service that we took reports on, there were 59, and this time last year there were 57. So as I said, pretty flat across there. There was one warrant, same as last year's. There were 2 arrests. That's one down from May of 25. Crash reports were 3 for the month of May, which is still pretty small for an entire month. That's an average of 1 every 10 days, more or less. But for May of 25, we did only have 1. This was it up a little bit. Total traffic citations issued for May was 45, compared to May of 2025 was 63, so we wrote a few less. That does include stats for May being Motorcycle Awareness Month, and we did participate in some traffic safety overtime during that block. And there were no non-traffic citations issued for the month of May. Court collections, which usually run at least a month in the rear, were $1,404. Generally, that's a little bit higher than that, but you must understand April was a very slow period. So it's not unexpected that the court collections would be down somewhat from that. I wanted to report that we do have 2 vacancies within the police department, and we are advertising for those. Those are full-time. We prefer certified police officers, so I'm going to turn around and talk to the crowd. If anybody knows anyone that might be willing to work at the greatest place in northern New Mexico, please have them get in touch with me. Kurt, you already work here. Just throw that out there to our listeners at home. If you know of anybody that's looking for a change of scenery, that has some experience, whether it be a year or 10 years, please give us a call. We'd love to meet you and talk over what we have here for the village and what we can offer you. I guess I should have told you who those two officers were. Ruben Lucero, who is relocating to Cuesta, New Mexico, and is taking employment there. The other is Alvis May, who as of today has not secured a new job, but he is moving to Oklahoma to be closer to family. And lastly, I just want to talk briefly, I know it'll be a little bit in next month's report, and you probably heard a lot about it. Balloons Over Angel Fire event last weekend, very early mornings, very late evenings. We had the big concert right here behind Village Hall on Saturday. We had farmers market again on Sunday. The mimosas in the main street had approximately 60 vendors, and probably stealing a little Greg's thunder, but he's out this week, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Just couldn't have been more pleased with how that event, the entire weekend went. Great volunteers, some of them are in this room. Just from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, because the traffic control, the parking, the one-way in, the things that we established last year that we capitalized on and enhanced a little bit this year, really did work well. It's unfortunate we didn't get a launch on Sunday, but we still had a lot of people here, and they still came into town, they ate, they went to farmers market, and just overall we had pretty good weather, other than just a little too much wind for that. So just really excited that that one is behind us now, but that it went so well. And just thanks to everyone that had a big piece of that. And with that, I don't think I have anything else tonight. I'd stand for any questions.
Manager?
Yes, Mayor, Council, I just want to add to what Chief Unger said, in that it was a record-setting Balloons Over Angel Fire. Each day was record-setting. They weren't big increases, but they were each record-setting, so.
We'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, for director's reports this evening is our Fire Chief, Jason Vance.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. I have a lot to cover, so I'll try to get through it as quickly as I can. First of all, I'd like to announce that we have successfully placed our application in for Firewise, so I'll keep you updated on the status of that application. I did want to point out that a typical Firewise community is usually 30 to 50 homes or smaller. It's neighborhood organized, etc. And we went ahead and tried to go for the gusto, and we're putting in an application of over 1,000 homes for Angel Fire. So special shout out to Mike Laverty, Brian Lindsay, and Captain Romo for satisfying that application, and to the previous fire adapted committee before that to help us get to this point with all the work that they've done. Our wildland team had been pre-positioned for 14 days in the Capitan district down in southern New Mexico. They returned from their deployment yesterday after 14 days, and that should produce a good amount of revenue for the wildland team. Captain Romo has been doing an outstanding job with billing. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. That is a very large task for keeping up with that FBS, and it's a very difficult system, and he's 100% caught up with only this remaining deployment left, so good job to them. Slash operations, in spite of being very short-handed, have been keeping up with all slash piles, and also kudos to Andrew Archuleta for keeping up with all of the slash pickups. He is currently is running with no backlog and has everything picked up, and he's even started to pick up some of these piles that were legacy piles left over from previous permits and stuff like that. We just asked him that if he sees a pile and he's able to pick it up, to go ahead and do it, and he's been doing plenty of that. Slash pile is building up in the lower pit, but we have still quite a bit of room up on the upper pit where we can kind of catch up on this winter when the fire season slows down. Any questions so far? No significant updates to the CWA projects to clear the perimeter around the village of Angel Fire. They received that $10 million grant. They started work in other surrounding areas, U Park and so forth. But from what I understand, they have to go through a financial audit and they're waiting for the outcome of that to start work on Angel Fire. I will touch base with Rick Smith from Cimarron Watershed Alliance this week to try to get a status update for you next time. Randy Borrella, the state fire marshal, is retiring. He brought some of the individuals up from the state fire marshal's office this weekend. He wanted to acknowledge and comment on Angel Fire and this administration's commitment to public safety and fire department in particular, and wanted to compliment the current state of the fire department from previous visits that he had had. By moving the fire administration here, we're able to increase our funding, something like $46,000 a year, and just everything else, all the inspections and stuff. He says it's setting ourselves up well for our ISO inspection, which we anticipate to come in the fall of this year. We've already started those reports. The Fire Station 1 build, concrete contractor foreman Jason, wanted to give a shout out to Kurt Epler and his department. Jason, the concrete contractor, said that he went out there with the transit and everything else, and they found everything to be within 1/4 of an inch throughout the entire pad, and said, we're blessed to have somebody like you, and I agree with him in the Public Works Department, and that you did an outstanding job, so thank you.
Well, Chief, the guys did most of it. I ain't gonna take credit for their work, but particularly Theodore Mays. He's just a next level operator. He's done a great job, and I'll pass it on. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you so much, appreciate your help on the project. We also have the concrete laying out happening this week. They should be pouring their first round of concrete, I think, for the stem walls around the perimeter of the fire station within the next month, within the next couple weeks, so they can start all their underground utilities and underground work for plumbing and electrical. We also received delivery of the majority of the PEMB, all that beautiful gray steel on the back will soon hopefully be an erected fire station. We do have a slight delay in some of the windows and doors and that scheduling, and those are the type of things that we're dealing with right now. Everything else seems to be on schedule and on point. Any questions up to this point?
And that's not gonna delay the project at all, I mean.
I don't think so. The latest delivery schedule I saw on there was the first week of August, and that was of some of the exterior windows and doors. Those do have to be erected in combination with the wall itself to be part of the envelope. And so we will not be able to erect those particular walls with windows and doors in them until we receive those products. But we have some concrete curing and things of that nature that I don't think is going to cause an issue. I relayed that information on to Brent Franken, the contractor, this morning, and I haven't heard back any issues, but I'll report if we expect any delays with that. Balloons over Angel Fire, I did also want to comment, I just kind of want to say it takes a village. Congrats to the entire village, the directors, staff, and especially the volunteers that made that event happen, because it was fantastic. One of the smoothest events that I've been a part of, and it was outstanding. I also wanted to thank Moreno Valley Fire Department for their assistance in running the operations at the Propane Alley area, as well as Air Methods Care Flight 16, who came in and kind of saved the day. We didn't have a whole lot to look at on Sunday, and we're grateful that they were there to kind of provide a little crowd entertainment, and of course the Porsche Club. I also wanted to give a shout out to Chief Hogriff and Jeremy Strickland. They laid out a very well-planned ICS form. I don't know if you guys see the back end of the public safety part of it, but implementing the incident command structure, which identifies someone who's in command and someone who's in control of separate organizations of the incident command, was very well done, expertly done. Especially when you have multi-agencies like Taos County and Colfax County sheriffs and so forth, and it went off. The communication was fantastic, and I just can't see it being any better, but we'll find ways to improve. Of course, there were some minor miscommunications, but we're working on improving on all those for next year. Also in the background, we conducted a mass casualty training. We used the Balloons Over Angel Fire event as like a scenario that we could kind of implement into what if we had this XYZ scenario, multiple casualties, multiple injured, and how we would relegate those injuries. And the crews received that all very well, and I think everybody learned a little bit of something, including myself. Two more things, we conducted a vehicle extrication series, we started that this morning. By Station 3, we have a vehicle that needed to be cut up, so we used that for vehicle extrication. We went through basic maneuvers, all the way up through some very advanced maneuvers, and we're gonna put the car on its side and have to learn how to stabilize that and everything else. I think that's very impactful for some of our lesser experienced people, and we're lucky to have people from other departments that are bringing their experience here to Angel Fire and passing that down to other people. Lastly, the EMS service agreement, the latest version that we have conducted just for public consumption is that has been passed off to Village of Angel Fire, and I heard that it was on the agenda this week to be voted on. Do you have an update for that?
Village of Eagle Nest.
Oh, I'm sorry, Village of Eagle Nest. So as I understand, it's before council and they may vote on that. Hopefully that'll get passed before July 1. The Department of Health, EMS Bureau gave us a surprise visit yesterday. And they were asking a lot of questions around that and trying to get our take on that and lean in if they needed to or weigh in if they needed to. I felt like it was a very productive conversation to get our side of the story. I'll stand for any questions.
I think that meeting's this evening, is it not, Manager?
Thank you, I wasn't sure, so I didn't.
They start at 6 instead of 5:30.
So hopefully that gets passed and we're able to resume service. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, moving on to committee reports, we have Santos Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, Manager Ware, members of council, sorry. So we had a 2-hour meeting this morning with the Comprehensive Plan Committee. We've gone through, as you may be aware, we've got a history chapter, community profile, public utilities, which is water, wastewater, solid waste. We've got transportation, which is roads, stormwater, sidewalks, UTVs, public transit and the airport, recreation and trails. We combine economic development and tourism. We have a housing chapter and quality of life as police, fire, night sky, water quality. So we've gone through history, community profile, public utilities, transportation and recreation and trails for final edit reviews. We actually have a P&Z hearing on Tuesday. Each P&Z member has taken a chapter to review as well. A formal recommendation needs to come from P&Z to get to you as a full body for final consideration. The draft you've seen with the strategies, most departments have responded to the matrix of how to prioritize what's a short-term, mid-term, long-term goal. So I think within our charge within next week to get to P&Z is to wrap up any other final edits that the committee members felt were needed. But again, those big chapters, public utilities, transportation, recs and trails were handled today. I know there's some overlap that we want to have discussions with Streets Committee on Title VII, but that was already a recommendation to move forward with too. So I feel confident that we can wrap this up with these edits to get to P&Z for a formal recommendation. They actually moved their meeting up to Tuesday instead of towards the end of the 4th of July week so they could get this out so that we can get this to you at your next hearing. So with that, and you've seen the last version of copies, folks feel comfortable with that format. They have asked just to make sure there's uniformity, obviously with headings, but I've started that with the appendices that are going to go with it as well. So stand for any questions you may have.
Questions? No, sir.
Great.
Thank you very much.
I'll get back to work.
Okay, moving into old business. I'd like to give a motion to move into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1H7, pending litigation. In the meeting would be myself, Councilor Howe, Mayor Pro Tem Crane, Councilor weeks. Owen Curry will be, Councilor Curry will be joining us virtually. Manager Weir and legal counsel for the municipal league, Christina Brennan.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session per NMSA 10-15-1H7. In attendance to discuss pending litigation will be the mayor, the council, village manager, and legal representation from the New Mexico Self-Insurers Fund.
Second.
Roll call vote on old business item A. Mayor Pro Tem Crane.
Aye.
Counselor Howe.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks. And Counselor Curry. Motion passed. We're going off the record.